Welcome to Section 420, Talkin Yankees, the podcast. Well, the Yankees start off their West Coast trip with a positive series win against the Seattle Mariners. Really should have swept the series, but nevertheless, I think the Yankees come away good in this one. Really dominating Seattle for the first two games, and the last game was kind of one of those, tug of wars, 1-0 games that you lose in extra innings just because more or less you're the road team. Even though the Yankees did have an opportunity to win there, so we'll get into all that. Before we do, make sure you subscribe to this podcast. So if you're a first-time listener, make sure you subscribe. Section 420 Talkin Yankees get a wrap up after each and every series, and plus other cool stuffs and rants and all of that. And make sure you also go to the YouTube channel. 2 days ago, dropped the latest YouTube version of this show. So kind of did a little bit of a deep dive of how the Yankees were able to turn things around in May. Again, remember at the end of April, the sky was falling. Oh my God, everything's wrong. Beto wasn't back yet. Judge was in the IL. Stanton was already on the IL, and everyone fired Cashman, fired Boone. Oh my God. Kind of just a bit of a deep dive of how they kind of turned things around, now put themselves in a much better position, in third place in the AL East, and steadily, slowly climbing up the ladder there. Maybe at some point soon they'll be able to challenge Tampa there for the first place standing there in the AL East. But nevertheless, make sure, again, go to the YouTube channel, check that out, and make sure you subscribe to this audio version of the show. So Yankees go on the road after a decent homestand there. Obviously dropped 2 out of 3 against Baltimore. Didn't really like that, but then kind of had a good bounce back. Taking 2 out of 3 against San Diego. Now go out to Seattle. Facing a team, they're only about 3 games above 500 themselves, so nothing spectacular. But really, the Yankees took it to them in the first 2 games. It was like an important series for a couple of reasons. A couple of returning Yankees. It was the first start of Domingo Germán back from the 10-game suspension for the substance issue, and of course, not to say a stellar start for Nestor Cortez, but at least a positive start. It's one you could be proud of. Again, he's been getting shellacked lately, but we'll get into the first game. And the Yankees really jumped out early in this one. By the third inning, Judge, the Yankees already up, would hit his first home run of the game. Now he would hit another one later, put the Yankees up 3-1. Later, Bowers would go yard as well in the fourth, increasing the Yankees' lead to 4-1. Now, Germán wasn't stellar in this game. Again, he was decent. He did give the Yankees some length, so it was good there. But in the fourth inning, again, he did allow Seattle to crawl back a little bit. Julio Rodriguez, again, the Seattle's big star there, who signed that mega deal last year, hits a home run of his own, cut the Yankee lead in half to 4-2. But then the Yankees really put this one away in the fifth inning with a 4-run fifth inning, highlighted by an IKF double, which would increase the Yankees' lead to 8-2. And really, the game was over at that point. But the Yankee offense really just kept tacking on. I mentioned that Judge hit a home run early in the game. We'll hit one later in the sixth inning, 2-run shot. The Yankees would eventually take a 10-4 lead, and not Judge only doing it with the bat, but with the glove as well, in right field, robbing Hernandez of a home run. So not only Judge, hit 2 home runs, but he also stole one from Seattle as well. Not that home run would probably made a difference in the game, but the Yankees nevertheless take the first game 10-4. And again, Germán's line, not fantastic, but again, for someone who's been out for about 10 days, you'll certainly take it. 6 1/3 innings, so pitching into the seventh there. Did give up the 4 earned runs, a little sloppy with 3 walks, but 4 Ks. Again, decent enough. And again, the helped that the Yankees had a significant lead for the most part of this game, but he took the pressure off Germán, so Yankees take that first game. Now, second game, a little bit more important just because it was Nestor Cortez, who's again been struggling lately. Good start, bad start, but mostly bad starts. And as I kind of mentioned in the latest YouTube episode, a lot of it just he just gets undone by just one bad inning. Lately, he's been snake bit by just giving up grand slams and 3-run home runs. So it's not like he's been getting knocked around like singled to death. It just seems like he'll be going good and just like give up 2 walks and a 3-run home run. It's just kind of it's just like one bad shot at once. That's kind of been his problem lately. But for the good news for the second game, was able to avoid that. So Yankees really jumped over on this game early on Logan Gilbert, and it was kind of Fleffer who, and I kind of mentioned this in the YouTube episode as well. He's kind of, he's waking up a little bit. He's did not have a good April at all, and most of his May was silent as well. But lately, you see him has been picking up with the long ball, as well as getting the batting average now over 200. That's something again he was struggling with early on, with an RBI single again off of Gilbert. Put the Yankees up early in this one. 2-0, and in the third inning, the Yankees already up 3-0. Anthony Volpe providing some power, a 3-run home run, put the Yankees up at point 6-0, and then even Greg Allen. And again, when Greg Allen's hitting home runs, you just know things are really going good for the Yankees. Solo shot of his own in the fourth. Again, the Yankees at this point 7-0. The game is well out of hand at this point. Yankees would go on to win 10-2, and Nestor Cortez, able to earn the win. Went 5 innings. Again, not a great line, but was able to get through it, only giving up 2 earned runs, did scatter 5 hits, had the 3 walks, so again, still a little sloppy there, but 6 strikeouts, and just good to see him just get a win, just kind of settle down a little bit. and hopefully get something to build on from here. Now, the third game was a situation where, yes, you look at the Yankee offense and you score 10 runs in the first two games, and you can't score any runs in the third game. But as they say, that's baseball, Susan. But nevertheless, you got to understand Seattle's point of view as well. I mean, here's a team that's just about to get swept. And imagine, if the shoe was on the other foot, the Yankees were just about to get swept. Well, they're going to fight tooth and nail to at least salvage that last game. So that's kind of what the Yankees were up against. So, yes, even though you're upset that the offense couldn't get one stinking run and only managed 3 hits the entire game, but look, I think the Yankees well solidified themselves in those first 2 games where the third game didn't really bother you that much. Okay, you'd like to sweep, but nevertheless, you proved yourself against Seattle there, but they would end up losing the third game. Now, it was just a situation of a pitcher's duel between George Kirby and Clark Schmidt. And hey, look, Schmidt's been coming on lately. I know early in the season I've been beating up on him, and he's kind of had what the situation that Ness would have. You seem to be going good, first 2-3 frames, but always like the fourth or fifth, you'll just like give up 4 or 5 runs really quick like that. But lately he's been avoiding that, and he's putting in much better starts lately. So I have to credit him there because I have been killing him early in the season. But the main point is the Yankees couldn't get muster up anything against George Kirby. He went 8 innings, 7 strikeouts. Judge couldn't get any home runs off from him. It seemed like Judge get a home run off all the other Seattle pitches, just not George Kirby. Schmidt himself held his own, pitched into the 6th with a 5 2/3 inning, no run ball. But again, the Yankee offense really couldn't do anything for him. Now, the Yankees had a golden opportunity in the top of the 10th. Runners on first and third, and it was IKF up, he's been hitting lately. Again, had some big hits in the first 2 games of the series. Popped up, so had an out there. So one wasted opportunity. All the Yankees needed in that situation was a sac fly. But still, you have runners on first and third. You figure, all right, maybe Anthony Volpe could do something. Hits a sharp grounder to third base, and again, the infield playing in to protect the run at third there. They throw out at home, and Oswaldo Cabrera, the ghost run, easily out at home base. So now you have 2 outs, and then Franchi Cordero, who's called up. Of course, Harrison Bader, who was put on the IL in the first game with a hamstring issue, 10-game IL. He's called up. But he would strike out, which normally Franchi Cordero does with his 151 batting average. So the Yankees blowing an opportunity. They could really want it there. And then in the bottom of the 10th, it's going to happen. Rob Marinaccio in for a second inning of work. And it really wasn't his fault, but gives up an RBI single to Raleigh, the catcher. And, of course, the ghost runner from second, easily able to score. And Seattle comes off with the walk-off 1-0 win there. So get a little frustrating there, but I think also you want to take some silver lining with that. I think the Yankee bullpen was fantastic. Peralta was great. Clay Holmes was great. Marinaccio was great. Again, I know he gave up the game-winning hit there, but he was pretty sharp before that. This is a situation, look, you're on the road. The Yankees had their opportunity. It's really tough to win those ghost running games on the road there, because even if you take the lead in the top of the 10th, the home team has the same thing. They got a runner on second base as well, and more often than not, they're going to score either way. Then the game's tied, and then you go into more innings, and then you're probably going to lose the game anyway. So it was just one of those situations where the Yankees had their chance in the top of the 10th. Didn't happen. Okay, it's not the end of the world. But the Yankees will move on now. Head to Los Angeles for the 3-game series against the Dodgers, which should get a lot of fanfare. Now, it's Los Angeles. You still have a lot of Yankee fans out there, a lot of celebrities out there. So I'm sure you'll see all the celebs out there, some with Yankee hats, some with Dodger hats and all that. We saw Jack Nicholson, the actor, at some of the Laker games. He finally came out of COVID hibernation. Now, traditionally back years ago when the Yankees went out to visit the Dodgers, Jack would be in there for a game or two. I don't know if you'll see him for this. I'm not going to understand the Lakers because it's playoffs. Yeah. Will he be out there for a Dodge game because he is a Yankee fan? But will he be there in the crowd? Probably not, just for a regular season game, but nevertheless, we'll find out. But, in terms of Yankee news, who I mentioned, again, I should have probably mentioned earlier that, yes, Harrison Bader going to be on the 10-day IL in the first game. Had to take himself out. It looked like a hamstring situation. So, it's kind of a bummer for the Yankees because when he came back finally, that's kind of when this Yankees kind of turned the ship around. Plus, of course, right around the corner, Judge came off the IL, and the Yankees really started to tear it up and become one of the better teams in baseball. So losing him, losing his energy, losing him in the clubhouse there a little bit. He's still there, but still it's different when you're playing in the game. Hurts the Yankees a little bit, but you've seen some other Yankees really coming alive with the bat a little bit. So I don't think it'll be terrible. I think he'll be able to weather the storm there and eventually get him back. But you see how valuable he is to the team. Just have to credit him with this Yankee resurgence since early May. And then you got to definitely put that on the shoulders of Harrison Bader. So again, he'll be out for a while. So Yankees will have to weather that storm. And as I'm sure you've heard, and I'm going to do a separate episode on this because I really don't understand it. But Aaron Hicks, who the Yankees designated for assignment, given a major league contract by the Baltimore Orioles. They claim to have seen something in him. I'm going to give you my theory and all that because I really don't. So look out for that. The next podcast episode, again, for you podcast subscribers, I'll give you my little take on Aaron Hicks going to Baltimore. So Yankees take 2-3 against Seattle. good series. Lose Bader for about a week or two. Okay, terrible, but not the worst thing in the world. And they'll weather the storm and then move on to Los Angeles. So hope you liked the episode. We'll catch you on the next one.